Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, good afternoon, more like, folks. Welcome to today's final front load, another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. And because we are, I got to drink a big draught of this. Before we do the usual disclaimers, right? In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read that article and share on all your social media. We also have in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case those bastards at the JRC have the balls to see through with their threat. We also have the link, we're starting a new one, remember, for the Agape Boarding School / now rebranded as Stone for Help school situation. That's right, folks. We're talking about this place that is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school for so-called at-risk troubled male teens that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, every which single one of them has been substantiated by the hard evidence gathered by the investigation done by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and includes the following: rape, sodomy, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's, shocker, still on the premises, also up on multiple, also substantiated claims of sexual assault, sodomy, and rape of the boys there. You got a brand spanking new attorney general who's not even addressed Agape, let alone their little name-changing stunt to get them out of the public eye. And you've got a governor who's basically useless for anything else other than kissing Trump's ass. So please share that new article from Ozarks Verts on all your social media. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. A link to the Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is very obviously advised. Trigger warning, we are about to again descend into the mad, nonsensical ravings of a lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear lies. You're going to see false testimony made under duress of coercion. You're going to have Dr. Israel again beating his chest saying, "Trust me, brah, I'm a doctor." You are going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, and shaming. Out and out lies, lies, more lies. Did I say lies? Pseudoscience and enough ableism and bigotry to circle the globe a few thousand times, so just be prepared for that. I also want you to note, folks, this is another first false testimony done under duress. There's one next week that we're going to go through that I'm going to go ahead and address now, where it was completely unsolicited by saying, "Doctor, you saying so doesn't make it so." Kid's still on the device, isn't he? Got the parents to drink the Kool-Aid, didn't you? As long as he is under the control of anyone who supports your school, it's duress. Unless his happy ass has moved all the way clear across the country where fuckers like you can't even grab a hold of him and then spontaneously does it, and he doesn't send it to the school but to the press, maybe I might believe you. All right, but let's read it, shall we? I probably received about 11 applications in total. The GED program, I think that was the best thing. I can't thank JRC enough for all the help they did for me. You know, without them, I don't know where I'd be today. It's either jail, state institution, or dead. Who knows? That's a lie. See, we don't tend to tote other people's words. You notice how much like Dr. Matthew Israel that sounded? It's because Dr. Matthew Israel wrote it. This is another example of where he says that this is completely unsolicited, but they're regurgitating his bullshit. It's called acting, folks. We do it a lot. When you get us alone and we're not under threat, that's when the mask comes off and the truth comes out. That's when we get to break character and tell you how it really is. Thing is, though, even when I had my creative persona, I still told you how it was. I just tried to make it as gentle as humanly possible. But I don't do this here on this channel, because once again, this is not how autistic people speak or how we write. When we have a glowing review for something, you will find pages. I hate to compare us to Harry Potter characters, but just imagine Hermione with her lists and lists of essays that were 10 or 15 pages long. That's us. When we have a glowing review or we have something to say, we have a lot to say on it. I mean, look at my channel if you don't believe me. How many videos do I have on this subject again? Yeah, that's the real autistic. When it's just this stunted, and when you can tell it's simply the same regurgitated words that Matthew Israel has tried to beat us to death with throughout the entirety of this nonsensical document, you should have some concerns, and rightfully so. This is not their words. They're his. But see, she backs me, she says you. If this individual, former student, was removed from the threat, no longer under threat of adversives from you or anybody else in your fucked up state, what would she say when the mask is off? Because something tells me it's going to go a little bit like Jennifer Masamba's ABC interview done back in 2012. We don't tend to regurgitate like this. We do have a parrot stage, as my aunt has made abundantly clear to me from when I was a child. But that's when we're about 2 to 3 years old and first learning how to talk. By the time we hit teenage years, yeah, you see where I'm going here. Because it is worded exactly how Matthew Israel has it worded, tells me one of two things. Either he wrote it, or he brainwashed this poor girl. This is all a lie. It is not jail or state institutions or dead. There are other programs out there. Thousands of them. Literally thousands of them. There is no one fix-all, cure-all. Not for disabilities, not for autism, not for anybody. It's not how the real world works. This is a lie. It's a coerced lie. And it comes from either someone who has been tortured into submission, and when done what so many of us who have been abused do, and tell the others what they want to hear or what we think you want to hear. And more often than not, when we do those kind of things to survive, we're going to do so from your own words. No. And that's very telling. Because when we use your own words, we don't sound like us. Or it is once again where Matthew Israel wrote something and blatantly lies. Either way, folks, it's still not a legitimate testimony. You may ask me, what's the difference between these students and the students who've come against the JRC? It's the fact that those students have come forward with letting us know that there were forced letters and testimonials sent to the school after they exited. Unsolicited my ass. They told us how they would force these propaganda videos. The before and afters were all done in actuality in a single afternoon, where they would force them to have a behavior so that they could torture them on camera, and then do the after where they behave like a perfect neurotypical, also known as masking character. You can feed me all the propaganda you want to, doctor, but the cat's been out of the bag and has been so for over a decade. You cannot walk back Andre McCullen's screams. You cannot walk back Jennifer Masumba's interviews or the interviews of all the fucking others you have harmed during your decades of tenure in this hellhole. Now I'm going to close out on that. I'm sorry this is short, but I can only stand so much of this just blatant, absolute propaganda garbage. And okay, I'm sorry, but I got to. It's not even good propaganda. Okay? It's not even good. Because we know that these students are under the power of their abusers and those who sent them to their abusers, particularly parents who drank the Kool-Aid. They're going to do whatever they have to not get sent back to a place like that or somewhere fucking worse. Okay? Very simple. We're survivalists. Okay? That's what makes it different. Because they're still in the power of their abusers and those who aided and abetted their abusers. They were out of their power. One of two things usually happens. We either sing like canaries or shut down completely. And it takes years, fucking years of therapy to even come to somewhat part of what we, not you, but we, call normal. Now I'm going to close out. We don't get very many reviews on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Got to go kick my ass, do the same again at 3, and do the same again at 3:30. Wish me luck. Bye-bye, everyone.